All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Forces Recruiting Centre, Detachment Toronto. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed, this is from the times just before COVID. No distancing here, but notice that packed in among these 12 new recruits for the Canadian Armed Forces,
congratulations,
are 5 women.
Congrats, I really mean it.
Canada's military has struggled to increase women in its ranks, convincing Denise Patino, future logistics officer for the Navy, to come on board, and that's considered a win.
I think there might be a lot of stigma around that, but it's the 21st century and women are in the spotlight now, and I do think that the Navy and the Canadian Armed Forces are a great way for women to get a foot into the world and really succeed.
Have fun.
Thanks. Yeah, seriously, I know you're going to be successful. Like, really, I'm so excited for you.
Back before the pandemic, we met up with Molly Cameron, part of the mighty minority, an experienced crewwoman on board a Navy ship.
I've sailed with only 2 females out of 45 people on board, and it can be hard, you know. I like hanging with the guys, I get along with them well, but I do think it's nice to have more females on board.
The military has set a target that 1 in 4 sailors, soldiers, or airmen be a woman by 2026. Today, they're way off, closer to 1 in 7. Better, though, than the NATO average of 1 in 9, still, though, short of Canada's goal. And it's barely changing. So why is it such a struggle? Charges of sexual assault against members of the military are certainly a factor.
I think there may be people that fear that it's some kind of a predator culture, which I can say with my hand over my heart that it's not.
So what are all the stations? Commander Michelle Tessier is among the highest-ranking women in the Navy, the incoming boss of one of its newest warships. After many years of service, she's been around during dark years, but believes safety and respect are both improving.
Do we have people where there are issues? Everyone does. Do we deal with those issues? Absolutely. And do we do everything that we can to make sure that the Canadian Armed Forces is a welcoming environment for women and for everyone? Absolutely.
I'm Shannon Busta, and you're listening to For Her Country.
From a home in Toronto, host Shannon Busta is featuring the contributions of women in the military in a new podcast called For Her Country. It speaks to women from a wide array of experiences in the military, at home and abroad, busting myths and shedding light about their role in the forces.
I'm sure you can imagine the look on my face, or what was at least going through my head when I was having these conversations.
There's also the question of lifestyle for both women and men. One hurdle to military life can be the expectation to move every few years in some jobs.
Hey Jason, good morning.
Colonel Luc Sabourin runs recruiting for the forces.
It's not just a woman issue, it's an across-the-board issue, because people really want to develop their family, raise a family as a team, and value the fact that their partner want to have a career as well. So it becomes a, how do we work? And the military will work to ensure to minimize stress on the family.
Making the military more family-friendly is now a strategic goal. In some cases, moves have been reduced, postings lasting longer.
Bridge ups.
Speaking of family, it's how Rosalie Solomon got here, following her older sister into the Navy.
Come on, tracking 300.
Both are now considering joining the regular force. And their younger sister is following too.
Roger, continue report.
I was not really concerned. My older sister told me that it was good. People were treating her good also. So you're a sailor before a woman or a man.
Molly Cameron was just about to head out across the Atlantic, confident in her shipmates, but sometimes still taking questions from friends.
You know, is it hard? You know, do you get a lot of sexism? And like, I definitely have in the past. I can only speak to my personal experiences. I don't get a lot. My trade is male dominated. But I think human nature, if you prove yourself and they know I can do the job just as well as a male, then there's no real sexism there, because there's nothing to be sexist about.
Sexism, of course, exists outside the military too, but perceptions matter, and it impacts attempts to increase the number of women on ships like this, making the force's own goal of greater equity somewhat elusive. David Coleman, CBC News, Halifax.